Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the True Safety Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Seth Silvers, and with Apolonia Rockwell. Apolonia, what is something in your week that you just really enjoyed this week?
My week consists of changing 50,000 baby diapers. So,
Okay.
But what did I actually enjoy this week? Goldie, my newborn, has almost learned how to flip over and roll over. So that was something
Like flip
really
over. That's impressive. Doing somersaults already.
She's doing tumbling and somersaults, and that's like the highlight of my life when I get home. So yeah,
Love it.
that was pretty exciting.
Love it. Yeah, I'm sure you stay busy at home and then you come and you lead True Safety and amazing safety business. So today on the podcast, we are going to talk about why the safety cop stigma has to stop. When I started working with you a couple of years ago, this is one of the first things that I realized was really important to you, was like getting rid of the stigma of the safety cop. We're going to talk about how this relates to like safety managers and workers and leaders and executives on this episode. But to start, Apolonia, share a little bit behind why this is this is a touchy subject for you and why this is something that is worth talking about on the podcast.
Yes, this is a sensitive topic. No, it's not a sensitive topic. It's a passionate topic because I feel like this is how True Safety was born. I feel like I've told every team member during their new hire orientation, I'm like, if we had a slogan, it would be that we're not safety cops. And I've been literally saying that for 7 years since we started, and in an industry back then where everyone I felt like was a safety cop. And still to this day, when I think that nobody really is a safety cop, like that was an old thing, right? Then I interview clients about who they worked with in the past, or I talk to other safety consultants, and I see that this is still happening today, which like really blows my mind. So I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah. So I think first off, everybody's involved with kind of stopping this stigma. I think executives need to need to reposition how they position safety to the company. I think workers need to have better understanding of what safety managers do, and safety managers just need to stop being safety cops. So to start off with like the safety managers and safety professionals, what are some ways that you think that they can just keep it simple, stop being a safety cop?
Yeah. The best, quickest way to stop being a safety cop is to shut your mouth and listen. Like that's the biggest thing that you could do truly. Is you might be the subject matter expert in OSHA regulations and DOT, in EPA, and you might know it all. You really might know it all. There's some people that really just know it all, but you will never know as much than your employees do. And that's important to know because the guys and girls in the field, are working their buns off. And the last thing that they want to see is somebody who graduated with a safety degree or somehow got into safety and somebody's telling them how to do their job. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
and
with their nice shiny boots that have never been dirty.
Yes, and my first boss was telling, was painting that picture to me, like Apolonia, like just so you know, like everyone's gonna eat you up, like your shiny white hard hat and your new PPE, and I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, I would throw your hard hat in the dirt right now, and I was like, okay. I threw it and I got it all dirty and I was like, wow, this was so stupid. But I just wanted to do everything possible to not look like it was my first day on the job when it in fact was my first day on the job. So, the biggest thing is whether you're new, whether you're semi-experienced, whether you're a subject matter expert, and all there is to know about safety, listen to the team and lead with questions. That goes with just being a good leader. Like all these things we talk about of how to be a good safety leader and we can really just chuck the word out. Like I've talked about on other podcasts, we could chuck out the safety word and like I said in the last podcast, talk about in other shows, is that I don't believe in a safety culture. I believe in a company culture. I don't believe in being a great safety leader. I just believe in being a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
So all the same principles apply here. Is just like lead with listening.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should probably be listening a lot more than we're talking. And I think some of the questions safety managers can be asking to kind of reposition it is like, okay, 1, how can you be supportive?
Yeah.
2, how can you communicate your vision? Don't just go in and like tell people what they should be doing, should not be doing. How do you actually communicate your vision? And then I think another is like, how can you show your workers you care? What are some ways you can actually do that?
And I'll add one. I think that that's great. I love those. And yeah, how can you show them that you really care about their success, their families, their wins? And then also, like every time that I would go on site and I saw something wrong and I saw that, I don't know, maybe there was a process that was broken or people weren't wearing fall protection, using the whole system or doing things properly, I would simply bring somebody aside, non-confrontational, and just be like, so why is that? Like, why aren't we wearing the safety goggles that we brought? Like, how come the face shield isn't being worn? Like, do you know? Like, I'm just curious. Like, and a lot of the time when you just ask people, they're like, oh my gosh, it's because the face shield doesn't fit, the goggles suck, they fog up, the fall protection, like somebody missed wearing their fall protection the other day because it doesn't fit. Like it says it's a universal fit, but it doesn't fit Eddie. It doesn't fit the same way, or it's really hard to use. Like that fall protection system is so complicated, Apolonia. Like it's so complicated that nobody knows how to use it, to be honest with you. And it's like, oh, well, you need a fall protection training, or maybe it's not even a full blown class. Like everyone just needs to know like how to don and doff your fall protection. You just need a quick refresher. So when you just really genuinely come at it with a curiosity mindset, you'll get all the answers that you need to know.
Yeah. I think that's so good to like really ask why and try to understand why your workers aren't being safe, instead of just saying like, hey, you need to do this and this. So the next step is kind of talking to workers, and not just workers, but really everybody, but like really how people are interpreting the safety managers. I feel like a lot of people, they're looking at their safety managers as safety cops before they even know them. Like kind of like your boss said, like you were going to lose that. You were going to lose your first day before you even started. Like didn't really matter what you did, because there was this perception of like, okay, there's a new safety person. They're going to come in. They're going to tell us what to do. So what has to change about the perception from workers, from frontline workers and employees?
Yeah, well, I think you said something really great in the beginning of the show, is how safety is rolled out is going to be everything, because that will change the perspective of the frontline workers. And so one thing, I've never really talked about this on the show, but I think there came a point in my career in safety, working full time with this oil and gas construction trucking company, is, I was fighting these uphill battles and I was still trying to find my journey on how to be effective, like how to make an impact. And I pulled my boss aside one time and I was like, I need you to have my back. Like you are like the superstar of this company, because I had an owner that was super charismatic. I mean, and he had these really loyal employees because they were loyal to him. He's just a really good guy, like the owner of this company. And so I was like, if you look down on safety, I was going to use a cuss word, but if you look down on safety, everyone else is going to, and like all you're doing is like paying me for nothing, because like you're just paying me to people to hate me and not listen to me and just not be effective. I'm like, but if you say, hey, like Apolonia is enforcing this because we're trying to gain a new contract. Hey, we're really trying to push these things because our goal is 0 incidents. And once we achieve that, then we're going to get these new contracts. We're going to open up the division in Texas. We're going to be able to go after these new opportunities if we can get our safety rating lower. In order to get our safety rating lower, these are the things that we need to do. So my boss then, so weird, I'm just thinking about this, but he would start the meeting, he would start the safety meeting off versus me, because I would always kick it off. But at this time, the culture was really struggling, so he would go out there and say, this is why this is important to me. Apolonia, take it away. Like, I've hired Apolonia to do this, and here's what she's going to do. Here's what we're up to. Apolonia, go ahead and go for it. And when he participated in that, and I was like, I almost said the name, but when my boss, when he would participate in the safety meetings, because I was like, I would like pick on him in the meetings, like, hey, like, show me, like, give me an example of something that we could do to do this process better. What's an example of an incident we had last year, and how could we do that better? I gave him a heads up. I'm not putting my boss on the spot. Right. I told him I was going to do this, but when people saw that he took the safety meeting serious, game changer. Yeah. And I did that with my clients in the future. Game changer. If the boss is in the back of the safety meeting texting, like, no one's going to care.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I think that's huge. And, this episode's meant to be simple and kind of understanding, like, there's going to be 3 categories of like why somebody's called a safety cop. Like, it's going to come from, safety managers, like how you present yourself. It's going to come from the top and executives and how you're presented, from how safety and your role is presented from the leadership and the executives. And then also workers. Like, there's so many workers too that, like, they're going to fall in line a lot of times with how it's presented from the culture. But I think, like, workers have to, we have to change as frontline workers. We have to change how we view safety as well. And we have to realize, like, it's not good for our culture to look at somebody as a safety cop. Like, understand, like, okay, how can we understand that, like, Apolonia is fresh out of college, fresh, clean, white hat, like, and she actually just wants us to, like, make it home to our families. Like, understanding that perspective, I think, is really, really important.
Yeah. I mean, just look at a big picture. Like, well, this person just graduated college trying to teach me how to do my job, or, hey, everyone, like, it's Apolonia's job to really learn the ins and outs of the company. It's her job to really pull the feedback from the team and understand what you guys need. And it's her job to figure out what's working and what's not working, and then be the voice of that, and then start implementing things for the company that's going to make your job easier. That's her job.
Totally.
It's like, well, night and day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like we said at the beginning, I think the stigma of the safety cop has to die. Not just for companies and specifically in their safety culture, but just for companies in general. Like, everybody, it's a team effort to be safe, but it's also a team effort to understand that, like, being a safe company is the best way to increase profits, treat our customers well, grow the company. Safety is the path forward to doing that. So, Apolonia, this has been great. I'm sure this is a conversation we'll revisit regularly, because this is a stigma that is all over the place in safety, construction and oil and gas, all the industries. This seems to be a problem. So this is probably something we'll continue to talk about, but we encourage you as our listeners to challenge your perspective towards safety wherever you're at, whether you're a safety manager, a worker, or in leadership on this. So, Apolonia, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing some of your knowledge around the safety cop conversation.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and to make sure to tune in next time. Thank you.
Absolutely.